Hey, YouTube members, this episode is just for you. Only you have access to it. Let's watch and see what happens.
Have you heard hers? Have you just heard?
Yes, I've read the entire thing. And the bottom line right now, I'm terrified. I'm the guy that went out and bought armored cars.
I worry for her safety as much as anybody.
Wow, so they're still on the security thing. If that doesn't tell you so, then that just means people need to speak up even more. That you would have a famous person like Taylor Swift with all the resources and all the money and all the bulletproof cars and all this stuff. I'm sure it's not elaborate, but it's certainly access to that kind of thing. That for her to simply speak out, not against Donald Trump, but to actually speak out against just a state politician, a state representative or something, a senator, I don't know what, I can't remember the race, but that they would seriously worry about having Taylor Swift assassinated, that it tells you something, right? It's one thing when you risk criticism or even cancellation. It's another thing when you worry about murder as a viable consequence to speaking your mind about sexual assault against women and victims' rights. And it was not. That was not the case with George Bush or with others. I mean, maybe with Nixon, you could argue that was going on back then. But certainly there was some of that. But I'm guessing that, like when the Dixie Chicks decided to speak up, I'm guessing that their PR people were not as concerned legitimately about the security and about potential murder from essentially cult members who have been brainwashed. I want to be clear, there's nothing wrong with being a Republican. There are several core Republican stances that are just a matter of opinion, like small government. I've met many Republicans, particularly in the past, that would hold to those ideas, and I did not hate them. And I didn't think that they were some sort of social ill to our society. That's quite a bit different than being a Trump supporter and a cult member. That gives us even more reason that we need to speak out, because we are a country that has the value of freedom, something that Republicans like to talk about. We are a country that is founded on equality. It was trying to be, and historians will say this, that at the time of the founding of the United States, it was perhaps the most equal society government-wise that had existed at that point around the world, because most of it is monarchies or other kinds of forms of government that did not include any sort of collective decision-making. Now, of course, it was white Protestant males that and landowners who were in that group, but at least it extended democracy or decision-making to that, and we've been extending that ever since to black people and to Catholics, for example. They were included at some point, and then to women, and then so it's always been expanding. And we are a country that is based on equality. We are a country that is based on immigration. We are a country that is based on science. Thomas Jefferson, famous person who loved science. So to live in a country that there are people that want to go against the American way is disgusting to me.